Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to present something very special to you. This one is a 1 Series from 2005, as you can see, but under the hood there is the rarest engine that was available to the 1 Series of this generation, and this is actually a 130i. This is a 5-door model, and this is going to be a detailed walk around of the car. I will show you the exterior as well as the interior, and to prove my point that this is a special model, let's look at the badging here. The first giveaway is, of course, the name of the model, 130i. Yeah, of course you can buy it and stick it on if you want. But there's also the dual exhaust that was only standard on the 6-cylinder models for the 1 Series, and actually the 3 Series as well from the same generation. But the real giveaway is, of course, in the engine compartment. We can open it up in a second. Let's have a look at this beautiful 6-cylinder under the hood. This one is a naturally aspirated 3-liter inline 6 under the code name of N52, and it's putting out 265 horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque, which is in this application is of course terrific, with a 0 to 100 time of around 6 seconds, and also the limited top speed of 250 kph. And I will also do an acceleration video where I get to a road where it's not illegal. But anyway, this is a beautiful engine. So if we just take a look under those covers, we can see how far back the engine is. So if you start to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it cannot really reach 6, but it's way back over there for proper weight distribution. So you can basically see until cylinder number 4. 5 is almost disappearing and 6 is somewhere here. So it's placed in the rear of the engine compartment, and if you would check out the 4-cylinder model, you would see that the engine block would start around here, and you would have a huge gap between the radiator and the engine itself. And this was part of the reason that they could achieve the legendary 50-50 weight distribution for the car. And I'm just thinking out loud, but maybe the V12 from the 760i could also fit in here, because it's basically the same length. And of course it's wider, but on the left side of the engine compartment it's only accessories that could be mounted to someplace else, probably. I mean, that would be a cool experiment. From the outside I really like the fact that it's not shouting in your face that it's a special model. Of course it looks like a well-appointed 1 Series with the xenon headlamps and the sport package that can be seen on the bumpers. And of course it's with the sport suspension, and the car is a bit lower. It's about 50 millimeters lower than the standard model, but still I would call it an understatement or even a sleeper, because most people don't really have an idea what this car is capable of. And now let's take a look at the interior, which is more on the elegant than on the sporty side, with the light gray leather seating. These are of course the sport seats with a lot of side bolstering that can be adjusted here. If you click it to the left or inward basically, then you make the seat back narrower, and if you click on the right or to the outside of the car, it will release the air pressure because it's pneumatic, and then the seat is more on the wider side. Additionally, the standard seat settings can be done electrically, and you have a manual thigh support, and you can pull it out just like this. And now let's have a look at the driver's seat. And of course 20 years and 240,000 kilometers haven't passed by without any trace of use. But generally I would say that the seats are in really good condition, and these imperfections can be done at a leather specialist for a really reasonable price. And also the only difference between the driver's seat and the passenger seat is that the driver's seat is also equipped with the memory function. And now let's start the car up. To do that you have to put the key in, clutch in, since this is a manual, and then click the button to start. It's now beeping because it's cold outside. The instrument cluster is quite standard, and it's really similar to the one in the E93 series. And in the bottom display you can find the odometer as well as the trip computer. Now it's showing the distance to empty, and now it's the average speed. I accidentally reset it a few minutes ago, and I'm filming now, so the values won't be important here. But this is the average speed, this is the average consumption. Of course at a standstill it's quite high. This is the maximum value that can be displayed, by the way. And this is the instantaneous consumption, or you can turn that line off and then you don't have the trip computer. Above that you have the outside temperature and the clock. This one is the M Sport steering wheel with perforated leather on the sides. On the left there are the controls for the volume and the telephone, and on the right there is the track selection button, the one for the source, so that's the CD or the jack or the radio, and there is the recirculation button for the climate control. So if you click it here, then it will change to manual recirculation. And in the bottom of the steering wheel there is the M badge that you just have to have. To the left of the wheel there is the control stalk for the cruise control. It's working the opposite way as in a Mercedes, so up and down is off. If you push it to the front, then it's increasing the speed, and if you pull it towards you or to the back, it's reducing the speed, and this one is the resume button. To the left of the steering wheel there's also a storage area for smaller items, and here you can find the light switch. Now it's in the automatic position, and the automatic position means that the curve light is active, so if you turn the wheel the headlights will also turn in the same direction. Above that there is a cosmetic issue with the car, and unfortunately this is true for all the 1 Series of this generation, and as you can see these are like faded or stained or something, but it's not mold or any kind of disgusting stuff. It's just plastic elements were not coated with the same UV protection as the middle one with the adjuster, and you can see it in the middle as well. So the ones with the adjuster are still black, but the others are faded. And probably there is a way to fix it, but I got the car only 3 days ago and I didn't have the time to look into it yet. In the top of the center console you can find the radio. This one is a BMW Business CD unit, which is quite standard in this model, and it features the 3.5mm jack input, as well as of course the CD and the radio that was standard for the era. The climate control is really easy to use. On the left side you get the zone selection, and if you select a zone then it's illuminating. You can select all zones at the same time. There's the temperature for the left side and also the right side. There's no sync button, so you have to adjust it manually. Also there's a one-touch automatic setting here, fan speed, and there is also automatic recirculation or manual recirculation, and the automatic function is dependent on the air quality sensor. And on the right side you get the various defrost features as well as the AC button. This one is actually really cool. This is the rest button, which means that when you stop the car, so let's say I stop the engine now, but I would like to stay in the car for, I don't know, half an hour or 20 minutes, then I can click the rest button and the climate control will turn off, and it will circulate the coolant and will provide heating for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. There is also the max AC setting that can be very useful on a hot summer day, and below that there are the buttons for the heated seats, and in true BMW fashion, if you click it long enough then they will turn off. So the point is that you don't have to know how many times you have clicked, you just click long enough and it will turn off. The car is equipped with a smoker's package, so that's why there is a lid here, otherwise it would be an open tray. But this way there is an ashtray here and an unused cigarette lighter. Behind that there is the shifter. It's got 6 speeds of course, and to engage reverse you have to pull it forcefully to the left. So this is first gear and you have to apply a lot more force and then it can slide into the reverse gear. Luckily BMW wasn't using a lot of soft touch plastics in the 1 Series, but as you can see the material is already starting to peel off here and there. It's not the nicest, but it can be replaced. Also to the left of it there is the manual handbrake. It's at least leather and it's durable. There is a smaller storage area here, and you can find the jack input and another 12-volt outlet here. And if you fold down the armrest, it's actually quite sizable and wide enough, and there is also a storage area in here. In the ceiling there is the auto-dimming rear view mirror, and this car is actually equipped with the same function for the outside mirrors as well. And here you can find the light switches for the interior. This is the main interior illumination. If you switch it on, then both the front and the rear will switch on, and you can have the reading lamps additionally, both for the front and the rear. Here is the control button for the sunroof. It's one-touch automatic, and actually the opening is quite huge, and the sunroof is sliding all the way back, so you have like a almost 45 or 50 centimeter long opening. And if we close it back up, then it will bring the shade, to this position, and from here it's manual. And if you click it upwards, you can also activate the vent function. There are also sun visors for the front occupants with mirrors and lights built in. There is also one important button here besides the central locking and the hazards. That's the DTC, that stands for Dynamic Traction Control, and if you click it once, here in the instrument cluster, the DTC will illuminate. So it means that it will let some wheel slip happen without interrupting the power, and if you click it once again, then it will turn off. So that means that it's the normal function of the traction control now. And if you click it for a long time, for about 3 or 4 seconds, then first it's showing DTC, and now it's showing that both the traction control and the stability control is off now. So you can do whatever you want basically. So if you want to do a donut or something, then you have to click this button for a longer time. And now we can take a look at the rear. The door panel is of course basically the same as in the front. So this is a padded material. It's quite high quality, and you have the leather armrest here and a smaller pocket on the lower portion of the door. There is also a door sill with BMW badging and a beautiful seating area. Of course the space is a bit limited, so I adjusted the front seats to move to the front a bit, and we can have a seat now. There are also seat back pockets here, 4 grab handles in the front and in the rear. There are also 3 headrests that can be folded up and down with the help of this button. You fold it up and then you just click this button, and then you can fold them down. And there is a strange thing. This one resembles an armrest, but actually it's not. It's just a cover for the pass-through for the trunk. So you can open it up. It's actually a ski sack. So if you want, you can put through some skis here. But this isn't really an armrest, this is just a cover. But it's just for better appearance. And to put it back, you have to align the velcros. First in the top section and then in the lower section. And now it's in place. And then you have the fake armrest. And now, last but not least, let's check out the trunk. You can open the door by folding out the badge. You can get hold of it here, and you just open it up. The trunk itself is not so small. It's about 350 liters. There is also a separate area divided by a net. There is a light here, and there is also a hook, one on each side. And below the floor you can find the battery. There was no option for a spare tire in the 1 series. It's like the E93 series, there was only the run flat tires, so you can only have batteries here. And there is some spare space on the left for a first aid kit, for example. And thank you for checking out this video on this beautiful 1 series, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.